Oh, here we go on with the polishing debacle. I can't remember where I last updated you, but I sanded the roof a bit. There was a bit of, over the back corner, I'm probably repeating myself, there was a bit of, I don't know whether the lacquer had run a little bit and dried, but as soon as it polishes, the light caught it a little touch. So I've sanded that back. Then I've had a nightmare trying to work out what to use, what works for me. I know there's loads of people saying you can use this, blah blah blah, but obviously it's what works for everyone else. So that's on the DA setting on it. The best I've found is using the yellow pad with the Maguires and just a squirt of water on it, which is sort of mixed with dodo juice, car wash, just to give it a little bit lubricant so it doesn't dry up, so I can nicely work it in. And that's come up trumps with getting all the swirls gone, so I'm really happy with that, and all the scratches out. So that's the plan of action, to carry on with that. The only issue with the rotary is it gets polish everywhere. But yeah, that's just some wax on there now. So yeah, it's had Meg's 105 and I've used the ultimate polish on it. That's now wax on it, so I'll let that dry off a bit, buff that off. Hopefully that'll be the roof done. It's hard doing this because obviously it's my car and I see it all the time, so if someone else was to look at the roof or look at a panel, they'd be like, oh yeah, it looks really good, maybe. But when I look at it, if I know there's a flaw in it, same as anyone else doing the car, if you see a flaw in it, your eyes are zoned straight onto that instantly, so you can't see anything else but that. So hopefully once this has all got its trim on, it's back up as a car. There's a lot of little flaws in it that I'd like to be perfect. Hopefully won't be noticeable. There are a few little dings in the roof, which it's a 30-year-old car. It's going to have dings somewhere. I'm not going for a show car. So yeah, it's going quite well at the moment. I've got that door that was sanded and polished. I've wet sanded the top because there was still a bit of orange peel in it, so I've given it another go over again. I'll keep doing that just so I'm happy with it. The back seat's in. That's all been cleaned, bolted in. The rear shelf that sits down there is all in, and the seat belt. Just waiting for a few more bits. Payday to pick some bits up on there. Yeah, so carry on the polish. I'll get this edited and stick it up. Anyone got any comments or anything that are constructive, stick them in the comments. If they're not constructive, I won't bother replying, because I had a comment the other day, one of the other videos saying, I don't know, I can't remember now, something weird, and I was like, yeah, cool, thanks for that. I'm not just doing the video for, I'm not professional doing this. Obviously some things aren't going to be done right, and some people are going to say, oh no, you need to do it this way, but at the end of the day, it's my car, I'm learning how to do things, or improving on what I already know, so hey ho, it's just a story to enjoy. And hopefully other people who are doing their cars or whatnot can see things and go, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Or look at it and go, no, that's stupid. Whichever. Anyway, cool. I'm going to wipe all this polish off. Yeah, this door's not, I haven't done anything to this door yet, and there's polish gets everywhere, considering it's all over the door and I was doing it on the roof. But never mind. Hey ho, all good fun. Here we are. Happy New Year. It's taken me 4 attempts to say that. Right, I can't remember where I was in the last video, so haven't done much on the body itself. I've got the quarter windows in, I've got the other side in as well. Again, I've got they were the windows from the windows I had. They're used seals from Dubstock. So we've got quarter glass in. I've showed you that already because I've just remembered. Background. So yeah, this is a window I broke taking them out. You can pop these windows out quite easily. However, when I first stripped the car down, I didn't have that technique, and it smashed the window. So I thought, okay, I'll cut the rubbers out. So used window, another used seal. They're going quite nice. Obviously, they do have little, obviously, age-related thing on them, but then it makes it more original. So yeah, windows in, all the back seats in, and the seat belts. That's pretty much all I've done to the car, to be honest. Got a nice new car cover over Christmas, indoor car cover. So at least I can stick that on and keep it a bit dust free. So what I have been doing without the car is doing a bit of work on the fuel system and air system. So I'll do a quick sort of chat on K-Jet stuff. It's pretty simple. There's not a lot of people around who sort of tune these now. You've got Vince at Stealth, TSR do it, and you've got Tom Walker at Retro Recess, who are the sort of top of my head 3 people who think you go to them, they know what they're on with the K-Jet. This is the air meter inside of the air unit, the fuel bits. That's the fuel bit. So what you can get is VW Motorsport ones of these. This is where the air comes into the engine. I'll show you. You'll see from the pictures what this was. The idea I had, because I've looked at it in the direction of, you're looking at that there. Yeah, that's obviously, this is the engine bay. I know it's not as a workbench, but that's the engine bay. The air comes from the front of the car in that scoop, sort of angle, and then it's coming up the air cone and going up the intake pipe into the inlet manifold. So what I've done, because if you notice how these work, it's pretty much that roller in there sits on a plunger in the bottom of there, and relevant to what air comes in, that goes up. See, that moves that inside there. That then pushes on this plunger, and then obviously releases X amount of fuel into the cylinders. So what I've done is, as you see these open, the back of this flap, obviously there's not a lot of air that's going to get around the back of there that's worth spending time to pour it out. So all I've done is pour out the sort of, as you can sort of see, that main through just over halfway around area. It's about an 18% increase in space there. Might not make a difference, but any little helps. What I have done, let me get a pen to point, just to give you an idea of what, you can get them ported out a lot, but you need to understand, it's the wrong drawer, if you understand how a K-Jet sort of system works, and this is the air cone. If you see, you've got this portion here from that line up, that's like a flat surface. That is your high load area, so wide open throttle, foot to the floor. And then you've got this section here, down to there. There is another sort of indent there, but there's not much difference. But mainly you look at that area, that's your mid-range. And then when this is shut, you can't just see it, but there's sort of, you've literally got an idle area, a mid-range, and then high load. So all I've done is taken a proportion out of the high load and sort of, which is the most I took out, and then I blended it into mid-range. Because if you start messing around and opening the main gap down the bottom of here, you're going to have idle problems, because you're going to have too much air coming in relevant to what fuel. So that's all I'm doing on that. Obviously it'll get cleaned up and made looking newish. Fuel housing, as I said, there's not a lot of people who do K-Jets. People just want to stick a 20 valve in it or VR6 turbo and stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with them, been there, done that, but I want to keep K-Jet. Obviously, a K-Jet, to get this running how I want to run it, is going to cost probably twice what it'd cost to get a 20 valve installed, DIY, and probably a VR6 turbo as well. I was going to take this apart and have a fiddle myself, see how it works, see what you can do to improve it. But after speaking to Tom at Retro Recess, he advised to give it straight to this company called KMI, who are sort of, they do K-Jet stuff. They take these apart, ultrasonic clean them, and I believe they change there's 4 like springs inside it. They do some stuff inside, make more fuel go through it. It's about a 20% increase, I think. So I'm just waiting back for a price for that, and this will get sent off. Obviously it's not going to be cheap, but if you want a K-Jet to run properly, you've got to get these things done. So that's just going to get put away. KMI will do that. They'll also have my warm-up regulator, just to make sure that's all refurbed and as it should be. That's going to stay as it is. Obviously I'll strip and clean it. Some of the motorsport ones supposedly had another section on the bottom of the flap. Can't really see it, but to give it more of a aid the flow, supposedly. But I've never seen a motorsport one, only pictures on the internet. But if someone has got a proper motorsport one, they're going to be wanting thousands for it, because they'll think it's worth loads. But I'm going to stick to that. So the next job I'm going to start tackling I'm trying to start doing things without chucking money, because if you follow me on Instagram, I've just got a Mark 5 GTI, which is a work car, so that's swallowed up a bit of money. So I'm trying to get some things done in the Golf which don't need money thrown at it. This is my head. I've had this head reworked already by Rob Cox Engineering to his rally spec, all ported and polished, rebuilt, ready to rock and roll. But what I want to do now is, obviously, I want needs to be port matched. If you don't know what port matching is obviously these intakes. This is the inlet. If you don't know, they've been widened slightly, more air in, blah blah blah. This is the other side of the inlet manifold, which goes on like so, like that. What you will have is different sizes, so that hole is now smaller than that. So what you want is to port match it, is to open this hole out to match that, so when the air go through, you've got a clean flow of air. You don't want any ridges. You don't want to like a ridge this side or that side where it's going to cause the air to jump over. You want a smooth flow. So that's the next job, is to that's still got the gasket on it, so I'll take the gasket off gently, put it on these, mark it up and see what needs taken out, and again I'll do the same with these bigger sections, which is the lower part to the taller part, which I think they're matched quite well. But I also noticed when I pulled this apart, some people may not be aware, the gaskets that can be supplied with this come in two sizes. One, which I think is for the C2B for GTI, which was the 2 litre 16 valve, which also had the 50mm inlet, which this is, and obviously the gasket for a different one. The gasket I took off on this was not the same hole size as that, it was smaller. So the air that was going through had to come through here. It was then hitting the gasket, obviously causing disturbance, and then going in the engine. So for the sake of a couple of quid, it might be worth, or might not, it's up to you, is checking whether you've got the right gasket in there, because there is two options. But again, I'll get this onto the big level, the other side of the inlet manifold, just to make sure that is then port matched to that side, so the air coming in through the throttle body is a nice clean flow of air through that into the head. I'll then do the same on the exhaust manifold. One thing I will show you on the exhaust manifold, if I can find it, is another, right, here we go, another thing about gaskets and sizes. That's a standard 16 valve manifold gasket. Obviously ignore that, that's knackered. I'll get a new one of these second hand, but that's the gasket that comes with it. This is the standard port size. So you put that gasket on there, you've got all that extra gap there, which can be opened up. I can't remember what the measurements were, but I measured it and there's quite a big percentage. So I'll get another replacement gasket, and then I'll mark out the gaps on these, and these will get ported out. So again, you've got air coming in, and you've got that option to open this out a little bit more, just to get that extra bit of flow. Because I'm not wasting money on a 4-branch manifold, because to be honest, there's very little companies out there who produce them where they actually fit properly without mounting everything. And if you look at a 4-branch manifold, you've got 4 pipes into one, or you've got a 4-2-1, but the standard system is a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 into a 2-pipe downpipe into a single system. So the standard system is a 4-2-1 system. So all I'm doing is, again, port matching those to the exhaust side on the head, port matching those up. A custom downpipe will get made for it to suit whatever these are ported out to, and then it will go into a custom system, which cost-wise is nothing compared to what, I don't know, £300–400 people are paying for 4 branches, when I don't particularly like them. I had a 4-branch on my 8 valve years ago, and I didn't like it. It didn't make a very good noise, and it didn't make much torque on it. It was a bit low. But that's where we're at the moment. Not a lot's going on, but I thought I'd give an update. So yeah, I will be getting some more polish for the car. Going to go for the 3M fast cut green top one with a green pad. Start using that. The door, passenger door and the wing, I'm going to have a quick wet sand over again, because I'm not too happy with it. I might drop down to a 1500 quickly and then do back on 2.5. once I've done those two, I'm then probably going to turn the car around, hopefully on a dry day, well, on a dry day, see what it looks like in the light as well. Because there's a few bits of the paint I'm not happy with. There's a few bits where the metallic particles have grouped up too much and it's quite dark. So it'd be nice to see what they look like in the light. Worst case, I'll respray it later on, probably next winter, but I'm not too fussed. But yeah, I can get it out, turn it around, get it back in, and then it's just the driver's door, driver's wing and the bonnet need wet sand and polishing. Once they're all done, then I can focus on the engine, which is hiding under here. Well, I say the engine, the block's hiding under there. That, as soon as I can, I'll get that sent away. Not that you can see much. That'll get sent away and bored out to 83mm. Yeah, so the engine spec's going to be, the block's going to be bored to an 83mm bore size. It's then going to have high compression pistons, probably Wasner because they're the only ones that are sort of easily available. The crank and the con rods I'm probably going to reuse because some people say put this in it, some people say that. I'm sort of more focused on listening to the old school kind of people who tune them, who've spent yonks doing it, like against the TSR, Retro Resus Tom, you've got Vince at Stouth, you've got JMR Racing, Rob Cox Engineering, who've all built countless engines. So I want to listen to them, take on board what they've got to say because they've built hundreds and they know what works. So the cam and the con rods can be the same, obviously all new bushes, blah blah blah. Cam wise, I think I'm going to go for a split duration, so a high lift inlet cam and a slightly lower lift exhaust cam, which is what's been recommended. Obviously this all costs a lot of money, so it'll get done when it gets done, but again, some people out there saying, oh, you could just put a 20 valve turbo in there for that kind of money. But again, I've been there, I've done that. I've had a Oak Green 20 valve turbo, fantastic car, but I want this to be a 16 valve looking like OEM. But obviously when you stick your foot down it, it's like the Quicken OEM. So that's the update. I know I've jabbered on a bit, but yeah, any questions, stick it in the comments and I'll try to answer it. Cheers.